Ladies and gentlemen, I am not the smartest person in the room. In fact, I failed many times. School exams, job interviews, business ventures. But let me tell you, the reason I am standing here today is not because I am special. It is because I never gave up. Champions are not born, they are made. And they are made in the toughest moments, when everything seems impossible, when people laugh at your dreams, and when the whole world says, you can't do it. But let me tell you a secret. Champions think differently. Imagine standing at the base of a massive mountain, looking up at its peak. It seems impossible, unreachable. The air is thin, the climb is steep, and every step feels like a battle against gravity itself. But champions, true champions, don't just see the difficulty. They see the view from the top before they even take the first step. They see the journey, not just the struggle. And yet, they don't waste time staring at the peak. They take that first step, then another, and another. That is the mindset of champions, a long-term vision with short-term action. Many people dream big, but they're stuck waiting for the perfect moment. They say, one day, I'll start. One day, I'll take that risk. One day, I'll be successful. But let me tell you, one day is a dangerous lie. It never comes. Champions don't wait for the perfect conditions. They start where they are, with what they have, knowing that every small step today is building the future they envision. Think about the great entrepreneurs, the great athletes, the great leaders. They all had a vision so big that people called them crazy. But they didn't just sit around dreaming. They acted every single day, step by step, inch by inch, no matter how small the progress seemed. Because success isn't one giant leap. It's 1,000 small steps, taken consistently, even when no one is watching. There will be days when you doubt yourself, days when the progress is invisible, when your hard work seems to be leading nowhere, when others get ahead faster and you start questioning if your dream is too big. This is where most people quit. They give up, not because they lack talent, but because they lack patience. Champions don't quit, they trust the process. They understand that today's efforts, no matter how small, are shaping tomorrow's victories. Do you know what separates those who achieve greatness from those who settle for average? It's not intelligence, it's not luck, it's not money. It's their ability to keep pushing forward even when the results aren't immediate. Because success is never instant. It's like planting a tree. You don't see it grow every day, but deep underground the roots are strengthening, and one day, without warning, it breaks through the soil and reaches for the sky. The problem with most people is they want to see results now. They want success today, wealth today, recognition today. But the world doesn't work like that. The most powerful things take time, and while the rest of the world gets frustrated and gives up, champions keep going. They know that every hour spent learning, every failure endured, every setback overcome, it's all adding up. So, if you have a dream, don't just think about it, start now. No matter how small the step is. Don't get lost in the future, worrying about how far you have to go. Just take the next step, then another, and another, because one day you'll look back and realize you didn't just climb the mountain, you became the mountain. Life has a way of testing us. The moment you think you have it all figured out, something changes. The world moves fast. The rules shift. What worked yesterday may not work tomorrow. And that is why champions never stop learning, never stop growing, never stop pushing beyond their limits. They stay hungry. They stay foolish. Hunger is not just about wanting something, it is a fire. A deep, burning fire inside that refuses to be put out. It wakes you up in the morning before everyone else. It keeps you going when others have already given up. It is that restless energy that whispers in your ear, there is more to do, more to see, more to achieve. When people tell you you've done enough, hunger tells you not yet. But hunger alone is not enough, because hunger without foolishness leads to fear. Fear of failing, fear of being judged, fear of taking risks. That is why champions embrace a little foolishness. They dare to believe in things that seem impossible. They are not afraid to ask stupid questions. They are not afraid to start something that others laugh at. They are not afraid to look different, to sound different, to be different. Think about this. Every great idea, every breakthrough, every success story began as something foolish. When people first heard about Alibaba, they thought, a Chinese company competing with American giants? Impossible. They laughed. But today, those same people are watching in silence. The Wright brothers, two bicycle mechanics, thought they could fly when no one else believed it. People called them crazy, but now the world flies every single day. Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, every one of them was once called foolish until they changed the world. Most people stop because they want to look smart. They want to play safe. They want to fit in. But champions know playing safe is the riskiest thing you can do. The moment you stop learning, stop taking risks, stop questioning, you start dying. Not physically, but mentally. Your dreams start shrinking. Your vision becomes smaller. Your energy fades. The world does not belong to those who sit back and wait for permission. It belongs to those who dare to chase what others call impossible. Those who are hungry enough to keep moving forward, foolish enough to believe they can do something different. If you want to be a champion, never stop being a student. Never stop being curious. Never stop being fearless. Because the second you think you know it all, you've already lost. When you wake up in the morning, what is the first thing on your mind? Are you thinking about how to beat your competitors, how to make more money, how to grow faster than the rest? Or are you thinking about the people who trust you, the customers, the users, the ordinary people who believe in what you do? Many businesses fail, not because they lack money, not because they lack talent, but because they focus too much on competition and forget why they started in the first place. A champion does not wake up every day worrying about who is ahead or who is behind. A champion wakes up thinking, how can I make life better for the people who believe in me? Because in the end, competition does not pay you, your customer does. When we started, we did not have money. We did not have technology. We were just 18 people sitting in a small apartment, dreaming of building something big. And every time we spoke to investors, they asked the same question, how will you beat eBay? How will you beat Amazon? But I told my team, we are not here to kill eBay. We are not here to fight Amazon. We are here to serve the millions of small businesses in China who have no other way to sell their products. If we help them, they will help us grow. I want you to imagine this. There is a small shop owner in a tiny village. He wakes up before sunrise, opens his store, and waits for customers. Some days people come, some days they don't. He does not have a big budget for advertising. He does not have the power to fight big corporations. All he has is hope. Hope that someone, somewhere, will give him a chance. Now, if you can be the person who gives him that chance, do you think he will forget you? Do you think he will leave you for another competitor just because they are a little cheaper? No, because you did not just sell him a product. You gave him a future. And that is something no competitor can take away. But the problem today is that too many people only think about how to be number one. Too many people waste time looking at what others are doing instead of looking at their own customers. They spend energy copying, fighting, trying to be bigger, instead of trying to be better. And that is why they fail. You have to understand, your customers are not numbers on a spreadsheet. They are not data points. They are real people with real emotions, real struggles, real dreams. And if you focus on them, if you make them feel heard, feel valued, feel important, then no matter how many competitors you have, they will stay with you. Because people don't just buy products, they buy trust. They buy relationships. And trust is not built in a day. It is built in every single interaction, in every single decision you make. When a customer complains, do you ignore them or do you listen? When a customer is unhappy, do you argue with them or do you solve their problem? When times are tough, do you abandon them or do you stand by them? Champions are not champions because they are the biggest. They are champions because they care the most. When you are chasing something great, the world will test you. It will throw obstacles in your path, push you to the edge, and whisper in your ear, maybe this isn't for you. And in those moments, most people give up. They walk away, they let fear, failure, and frustration steal their dreams. But champions, true champions, don't stop. They don't quit. They don't surrender to failure because they know one thing. Every setback is temporary, every struggle is a lesson, and every battle is worth fighting. Think about a time when you wanted something so badly, but everything seemed to go wrong. Maybe you put your heart into a project, but it failed. Maybe you tried again and again, yet success never came. Maybe the people around you, even the ones you love, told you to stop, to be realistic, to accept that it's just not meant for you. That moment right there is where most dreams die. But that is also the moment where champions are born. Because instead of walking away, instead of surrendering, they say, "Not yet. I'm not done." Every champion has faced moments where the pain felt unbearable, where the odds seemed impossible, where giving up felt like the easiest choice, but they didn't. They found something deep inside them, something unshakable. It wasn't talent, it wasn't luck, it was the refusal to quit. It was a fire so strong that not even failure could put it out. I have seen people with brilliant ideas, people with incredible potential walk away just because things didn't work the first time, or the second time, or the 100th time. But I have also seen people with nothing, no experience, no connections, no resources, rise to the top because they refused to quit. It wasn't their intelligence that made them succeed. It wasn't their skills. It was their resilience. It was their mindset. Think about the greatest people in history, the ones we admired, the ones whose names we remember. Do you think their path was easy? Do you think they never failed, never struggled, never felt lost? No, they suffered. They broke down. They had nights where they questioned everything, but they held on. They kept pushing. When the world said no, they said, "Watch me." Because here's the truth, success is not built on easy days. It is built in the moments of doubt, in the nights of struggle, in the battles that no one sees. It is built when you choose to keep going when everything inside you is screaming to stop. So when you feel exhausted, when the road feels too long, when the failures start stacking up, remember this. The people who win are not always the strongest, not always the smartest, not always the most talented. They are the ones who simply refuse to quit. Pain is temporary, fear is temporary, failure is temporary. But quitting is permanent. And that is why champions never give up, no matter what. A champion's mindset is never satisfied. No matter how much they achieve, how high they climb, or how many people recognize their success, they know one simple truth. There is always more to learn. The moment you think you know everything is the moment you start to lose. Because the world does not stop moving, the competition does not stop growing, and the challenges do not stop coming. Champions understand that learning is not something you do once, it is something you do every single day. Think about the greatest athletes, the most successful entrepreneurs, the most inspiring leaders. Do you think they wake up one day and say, "I have made it, I don't need to improve anymore"? No, they wake up every morning with the same hunger, the same fire, the same desire to be better than they were yesterday. They do not compete with others. They compete with themselves. That is what separates them from the rest. But here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Learning is not easy. Growth is uncomfortable. It requires humility to admit that you don't know everything. It requires patience to understand that results do not come overnight. It requires resilience to keep going when progress feels slow. Many people start with excitement, but when things get tough, they quit. Champions do not. They embrace the struggle. They understand that the pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret lasts forever. You see, life has a way of testing us. It will push you down, it will challenge your confidence, it will make you doubt yourself. But champions know that in those difficult moments, the only way forward is to keep learning. When they fail, they don't just feel sorry for themselves. They analyze what went wrong, they ask questions, they seek advice, and they come back stronger. If they don't blame the economy, the system, or their luck, they take responsibility for their growth. And let me tell you something. This mindset is not just for business. It is for life. If you stop learning in your career, someone younger, hungrier, and more knowledgeable will take your place. If you stop learning in your relationships, they will fall apart. If you stop learning about yourself, you will wake up one day feeling lost, wondering where all the time went. Champions do not let that happen. They stay curious. They seek wisdom from every experience, from every failure, from every mentor, from every challenge. So the question is, are you willing to put in the work? Are you willing to stay up a little later, wake up a little earlier, read a little more, ask a few more questions, fail a few more times, and keep pushing even when no one else believes in you? Because that is what it takes. That is the price of greatness. The path is not easy, but I promise you this. If you never stop learning, if you never stop improving, you will become unstoppable.